A look once again at GLMR. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. That way you're going to have more context. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Also, if you want to support Ukraine with a donation, feel free to go over to the description. There are 2 official websites linked down below, and you can support us. And yeah, thank you very much, and let's get on with the video. So jumping into the daily chart on TradingView, we have 2 Fibonacci retracements. So we're going to take a look at both of them one by one. So the first one is a bearish fib that we have here. We have actually reached our 1.618 target here. And what we've done is we took this high that we printed in July, or at the end of July, and the low that we printed on July 13th. So we had this downtrend all the way down to the 1.618, right, at 41 cents. So if you entered at these levels here, right now you're in profit. And actually what's happening right now with the price action is you're caught in between the EMAs. You're caught in between the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA. So you're very, very squeezed up in this area. As you can see, you're just chop sideways movement. And when this happens, typically this means that there is some sort of a break coming, because at some point you're going to break either this resistance or you're going to break this support. So something's got to give. And if we see a 50 basis points hike tomorrow in the morning, then the markets could have a little relief rally. That includes GLMR. And if that happens, we could potentially see a nice pump all the way into this red area here. We could go above 54 cents, and that would be a nice area for us to take some profits, to potentially swing trade this altcoin. If you know how to do that and you feel comfortable doing that, never force a trade, guys. Trust me. Never force a trade. If you don't feel like trading, you don't feel like swing trading an asset, it's not overbought, just don't swing trade it, because you're going to regret it, because once you sell, it's going to continue pumping. So just take my advice on that. I've done the mistake many times before, and I've learned from those mistakes. So I'm trying to help you guys out. So as you can see, you have this little area here where you've been in a sideways movement, like I said, and if we do see a break to the upside, you have this red zone anywhere from 60 cents all the way down to 54 cents. That area has been retested as a resistance once over here, and it has been retested as support multiple times during the year. As you can see, you had multiple touches off of this area. So this is a very strong resistance area. And we've retested it once as resistance over here, and we could do it once again here and then come back down, and pretty much nothing's going to change. Now, if we start breaking above that, that's when things can get a little bit more interesting, and then we can start taking a look at this higher resistance level, anywhere from 69 cents all the way down to 65 cents. That's going to be your next resistance zone, and that's where you have the golden ratio on the Fibonacci retracement, believe it or not. So if I remove the price tag to the left side, you can see that your 0.618 Fibonacci golden ratio level is at 65.96 cents. And we haven't retested that area yet after we started retracing down from this high that we printed on July 30th. So this is potentially what's going to happen if we see a relief rally. So those are your targets as well. Personally, I would be careful swing trading this, because as you have seen with Dogecoin, if an asset is in such a pattern, well, Dogecoin wasn't really in this pattern, but I'm just using it as an example. Things can get really crazy for some altcoins, and we may see some strong pumps. So you just want to be careful not selling here and then seeing the token do another 5x afterwards. Depends on what your plan is, obviously. If you're only looking for 20% profit and you did that 20%, you sell. Basically, after that, you don't care whether the price goes up or it goes down. It also depends on your trading strategy as well. So yeah, that's regarding this Fibonacci retracement. We're running into the 1.272 currently, as we've bounced from the 1.618. Your next one could be at 55 cents, which is the swing low that we have over here, printed on July 13th. we could run into that and come back down. So I'm just giving you multiple resistance levels. You're never going to know which one you're actually going to retest. As you all know, I'm not here to tell you the future. I'm here to prepare you for both outcomes with enough resistance levels. If you're holding for the long term, I would be careful swing trading. I would simply just buy off of support levels. Even right now, all of this here, this is a great buying opportunity for GLMR. If we see Bitcoin drop to $12,000 and GLMR does something like this and goes all the way down to 34 cents, that's still a great buying zone because you still have this capitulation target here, believe it or not. You have this target at 34, 36 on the price chart. So 0.3436 is your price for the capitulation target. And this is regarding this small bearish fib, okay? So if I bring back the larger fib that we had on, okay, and I remove the smaller one. So this larger fib is a bit different, but it's also a bearish fib. And this one has the swing high all the way back here in April of 2022 and the swing low all the way back here in February of 2022. We went all the way below the 1.618 target. We retested that as resistance. We came all the way down below the second fib level. And right now, our main support area here is the 2.272, this little buy zone here that you have at 39 cents. So if you start going below that, I would target 32, 33 cents here. So you have these targets based off of the Fibonacci retracement. And, you know, that's the best that I can do because if Bitcoin starts capitulating and you see these large wicks to the downside, no one knows where that wick is going to come, right? That's why you want to have your buy limit orders set up in advance so that when it happens, no matter where the price, lands, eventually all of these orders are going to be filled for you. And realistically, after these capitulations, the price resurfaces back very, very quickly. So it's important to have these buy limit orders set up in advance because if you don't and you wake up in the morning and the price did something like this, right? So you missed all of this here and you could have already been in profit. So that's what I'm trying to teach you here because even if you don't swing trade right now and you see this pump here, you don't sell and the price comes back down, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that because when the next bull market comes, this little $50 trade that you could have had is going to be nothing compared to what you can make if you have the patience to wait until the next bull market. So just be smart about your investing, be smart about your trades, never try to force a trade. Of course, if you hop into a chart and you see GLMR doing something like this on the 4-hourly chart and you take a look at the RSI, for example, on the daily, right? And you see the RSI all the way up here, within the next 24 hours, it does something crazy like that, then obviously you can sell even in your entire stack here because there was realistically nowhere left to go but down. And after you start coming back down, that's when you can buy back in, right? That would be considered a very safe swing trade. And that's how I really swing trade based off of the RSI and the price action getting very overextended on the 4-hourly chart, on the daily chart, and on the 3-day chart, and on the 12-hourly chart. I take a look at all of those charts, and if most of them are overbought and the price action is very far away from the EMAs, that's when it's most safe to sell and wait for a pullback. But still, there is also some risk involved because the price can continue pumping even though it doesn't seem realistic. Anything can happen. That's why I tell you that you have to be ready for both outcomes at all times. So hopefully this was useful to you guys. Hopefully you learned something useful because I'm really trying my best here to try to help you avoid these stupid mistakes that I've done in the past. And obviously I've learned from them, and I'm not saying by no stretch of the imagination am I a perfect trader, but I just want to say that practically 90-95% of my trades are always in profit, which means that whenever I take profits on a crypto project, I just buy back in after it corrects. And not very often it happens, it goes the opposite, right? Where I take profits and the price just continues surging because I'm careful in that way, right? So my trading is very careful. I trade with some of my patrons If you want to take a look at my Patreon, the link is down below in the description. And I trade with my patrons, and like 90 to 95% of our trades are always fruitful because we are very careful with where we sell and we are very careful with where we buy. Obviously, no one's going to have 100% track record. That would be impossible. So yeah, that's all I'm trying to say here. Glmr could start pumping if we see a 50 BPS hike tomorrow. You have a couple of resistance levels. I highly doubt we're going to go above 70 cents if that happens. If that happens, of course, just take a look at the higher fib levels here. Draw this out on your chart. You have 85 cents afterwards. You have 74 cents as a resistance level. You have 79 cents as a resistance level. You have $1.09, right? This area over here, we haven't retested that area as resistance because this was something that we had here in May to June. We had this little trading range, and we dropped down from there, and we haven't come up to retest that as resistance. So that is something that's on the table potentially in November. If we see a fruitful November, that's what could happen. We may see that retest, and then we can come back down for a capitulation in December or January. So always be ready for both outcomes. Don't buy into all the BS on Twitter and into all these fake pumps. Just accumulate dollar cost average when you can. Be smart. Buy into strong and fundamentally sound crypto projects, and you're gonna do just fine in the next 2 years if you follow your plan and your strategy. So thank you all for watching. Like I said, check out my Patreon linked down below in the description. Check out my Twitter. I do post sometimes on there. I try to post as much as I can, but I'm mainly focused on my Patreon and YouTube. And I also have a Discord server down below as well. So thank you all for watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye.